All right, I had to pause for a minute because telling that story is so freaking emotional, and I don't like people seeing me cry. I do not like being emotional at all, especially on camera. So, yeah, telling this shit is gonna be hard. I'm just gonna have to let the tears fall where they may, and leave it be. But back to the story. Uh, the police officer, he called my mother's primary hospice nurse. She was off that night. So the nurse that was there, she knew nothing about me, my mother, the situation, nothing. So he called my mother's primary nurse, and she came off the clock, and she held my hand until I got done letting it out. How long that was, I don't know, but she did. And so once that happened, we went into the room with my mama, me, my daughter, and my aunt, and she's doing weirdo ass shit, like cutting my mama's hair. She cut a lock of her hair, and was like, hey baby, she was like, Toto, Toto, okay, okay, Toto want to talk too. So, all right, so she had cut a lock of my mother's hair, and she was saying weird shit like, you can touch her, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, this is my mama. Of course I done touched her. I done touched her. I done kissed her. I done did everything under the sun that you could think of before you even got here. And she was just still on some jealousy shit. How the fuck are you gonna be jealous of this woman? Her body is here. Her life is gone. Matter of fact, she was so fucking evil and jealous of my mama that once I left that room and they took me upstairs, she took a picture of my mother's dead body. Something that I did not know about. I eventually got it out her daughter's phone when she brought her drunk ass up here. But anyway, okay, so they sent me upstairs, and that's when she got to rearranging shit. Mind you, I had prepaid for my mother's funeral services and her burial. Her funeral services that I had planned, pre-planned, and paid for were at Serenity Funeral Home. Her burial, headstone I designed, casket, I everything, flowers, all of that. I had bought her clothes. I pre-done everything. Um, so that was done. Had the deed to the plot, had the services paid for, or so I thought. No, I did. Another story. Anyway, story with Serenity. I'll get to later. All right, so when I went upstairs, and this is verified by my nurse, my mother's nurse, I spoke with her personally. We met for lunch, but the minute I went upstairs, that's when she started rearranging the services. She started telling the nurses, "Oh, let me handle it. Let me do this. The family's gonna take care of it." And the nurse from Vitas know full and goddamn well that we had already sat there together for about an hour and a half during one of her visits, going over everything. My mother was no code, no code at all. She was DNR. Anyway, she was no code. She was DNR. Her services was paid for. When you get with the hospice agency, they ask you everything in advance. Are these services paid for? Do they have insurance, burial insurance, or life insurance? All of that stuff, so that when they come into the home, you don't have to do nothing, of course, because it's going to be a hard time for you. So they take over and do everything. It's supposed to be an easy process. Not with Dorothy Jean around. So Dorothy Jean went and she called her niece with a record as long as my damn body. And I'm 5'7". And they came in. I knew nothing about this shit. They came in and they was here. Mind you, this shit was hours. I'm still upstairs. This shit is fresh, so I'm going through a process. And so when I finally go downstairs, she said, Duck, uh, let me in. Let me and Moni handle this for you. Uh, we got this. No, don't worry about a thing. Um, and I said, okay, Auntie, whatever, just take care of it. I'm thinking this bitch is helpless. stupid as fuck, I know. But I'm thinking this bitch is helping me. And so, not knowing that she was rearranging everything. And so, time had passed, and my mama's dog, she like steady clawing to get downstairs. So, we finally take her downstairs, and the people to remove the body finally arrived. And when they arrived, they had me sign on, like, I don't know, a little notepad or whatever, releasing my mother's body. And when they released my mother's body, they told me that they were taking her down to the county morgue for an autopsy because that's what I wanted. Now, I don't have the best memory of that night, but I do know for a fact that I said I want an autopsy. No, that's not what happened. So they wound up taking my mother to God knows where. I have no clue. No clue. No clue. Because after they removed her body from my house, I never saw my mother again. Yeah.